Sheridan, Colorado is a small municipality in the Denver metro area. It was first incorporated in 1890, and it is named after General Philip Sheridan, who selected the site for nearby Fort Logan, just west of Denver. On the west edge of Sheridan is this building. I don't know when it was built, but it has been here as long as I can remember. The building has obviously been modernized. A gable roof has been added, and the balcony has been enlarged. When I was growing up, the balcony was just 3 or 4 feet deep. I have always wanted to model this building. I love the brickwork on the cornice, I love the arched windows, and I love the asymmetry created by the second street entrance at the right side of the building. Also notice that the street slopes down, right to left, creating extra visual appeal. This video will be a little different from my previous videos for 2 reasons. First, this will be the first of at least 3 parts. A single video covering the entire project would be too long. Second, this project is not yet complete. You will be following along as I design and build this structure. Along the way, I expect we'll both learn something about building from scratch. So welcome back to my channel, and as always, thanks to my subscribers. In my video, Scratchbuilding, Don't Be Intimidated, I noted that building from scratch requires just 3 things that are normally provided as part of a kit: the plan, the material, and pre-cut major pieces. My goal for this video is to create that plan and to assemble those materials. Construction of the basic building, including cutting of the major pieces, will be the subject of part 2. First, we need to determine the dimensions of the building. We can use the ruler tool in Google Maps. Just right-click on a point, select Measure Distance on the pop-up menu, and click the second point. I used that tool to find that the width of this building is 26.5 feet and the depth of the building is 40.5 feet. Switching back to the street view, I used my screen capture tool to copy and paste the front view of the building. If you can't get a perfect face-on view, don't worry. You can always import the image into Photoshop or GIMP and use the perspective tool to get a nice square image. Now use your all-in-one printer to reduce or enlarge the photo to a convenient scale. This photo has been printed using a 1/4 inch equals 1 foot 0 inch scale. This makes reading dimensions of the building easy. As a check, I measure the height of the doors. Doors are almost always 6 feet 8 inches or 80 inches tall. You can also print the image to your scale if you like. This image was printed to HO scale. That helps me visualize how the building will look on my layout. Now it's time for some imagination. This is obviously a single-family residence today, but as you've guessed from the title of this video, in my mind's eye, I can see this as a downtown hotel, built in the 1920s to serve railroad crew and traveling salesmen, barely surviving the 1930s Depression years, thriving during World War II and the post-war era, and seeing a bleak future in the 1950s as America takes to the highways and stays at Howard Johnson's and other roadside motels. So I've used the building dimensions to imagine how a floor plan might have looked. I do not plan to build a detailed interior, but knowing what rooms are where allows me to decide where windows and doors will be located on the 3 sides of the building we can't see. Here is my sketch of the ground floor. And here is my sketch of the upper floor. You don't need to do this exercise. The street view in Google Maps will usually let you see an image of the sides of the building, like this one, which could serve as a guide for window and door placement. Finally, here are my sketches of the remaining 3 sides of the building. I will use these as my guides for cutting window and door openings. And just like that, I have my plan for the Sheridan Hotel. The next step is to assemble the materials. I decided to build this model from basswood. Monster Model Works sells a wide variety of brick and stone sheets. I chose the old brick pattern. They also sell cornice kits, window lintels, and sills. I will use most of the material you see in this photo. The total retail cost of these materials is about $50. One thing I like about the Monster Model Works material as they provide kits to make modeling a brick cornice easy. I can use these pieces to assemble a pretty good representation of the building cornice. Now that I have the material for building the shell, I need to find some suitable doors and windows. Tichy Train Groups sells an incredible assortment of doors and windows, 34 different door styles and over 100 different window styles. Using the image, which has been printed to scale, I can measure the windows. The windows on the upper floor are 36 inches wide by 72 inches tall. I chose this window, Tichy number 8052. It is 34 inches wide by 67 inches tall. Notice the window has 12 panes, as opposed to the actual building, which just has 2 panes. I'm not concerned about this. First, the windows have almost certainly been replaced over the years, and second, older windows had smaller panes to reduce the cost of glazing. If you're worried about this, you can always remove some of the mullions in the window casting to increase the size of the window panes. Finally, the number 8052 window is a masonry mount window. That is, it's designed to fit inside a brick window opening. The downstairs windows are larger. They measure 45 inches wide by 72 inches tall. I chose Tichy number 8038 for these windows. They measure 38 inches wide by 68 inches tall. There are some smaller windows on my floor plan. These are the windows used in the office, the pantry, and the kitchen. With no photos to guide me, I chose Tichy number 8107 for these windows. They measure 35 inches square. For the doors, I'll use Tichy number 8191 for the 2 front doors and the back door. The balcony door is different. It has a transom, and so it is taller than the other doors. You can see this in the photo. I chose Tichy number 8116 for this door. Based on my floor plan sketches, I counted the number of each window and door. Here are the windows and doors I purchased for this project. Total cost, $24, and you'll have 25 windows and 2 doors left over. So here are the materials I will need to build the basic structure. I have added a supply of 1/8 inch square strip wood for bracing, some 1/64 inch plywood for the roof, and some 21 thousandths thick styrene sheet to fill the top of the bricked arches over the windows and doors. The total cost of these materials is now just about $80. I will recreate the sloped building front by making the entire width of the building 24 feet high. I'll put a standard door shim in front of the building and glue these bar mills brick sidewalk sections along the building front. That will lower the apparent height of the building to 22 feet 9 inches at the left side and to 21 feet 6 inches at the right side, creating the sloped effect I want. The bar mill sidewalks are cast in polyurethane resin, and some of them are quite warped, as you can see here. They can be straightened by heating them at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes, then pressing them flat under a light weight. I heat them on a flat ceramic tile. I suspect that very few local hobby shops will carry the supplies I've listed here. Scratch building supplies are simply too specialized for most retailers. I live over 100 miles away from the closest hobby shop and over 200 miles away from the closest large hobby shop, so I tend to rely almost exclusively on online ordering. When ordering online, I try to minimize shipping costs by ordering everything I need at once and by ordering extras when appropriate. For example, when I order strip wood from Northeastern Scale Lumber, I order extra sizes and extra pieces of each size. When I ordered my windows from Tichy Train Group, I also ordered some detail parts I knew I would use for this project. Balcony railings, number 8093, lamp reflectors, number 8027, and star washers, number 8145. I'll discuss the use of these detail parts in a later video. There are thousands of buildings across the country that could make interesting modeling projects. Here are 4 I've identified. First is this great old fire station located at 600 South Broadway in Denver. Second is this industrial building, which has been built with an angled front to follow the adjacent highway. Third is this old store in Tipton, Missouri, along US 50, with large awnings over the windows. And last is this beautifully restored Santa Fe Depot in Englewood, Colorado. This might make a good kit bashing project using the Walthers kit. You should choose a structure that fits your layout setting, both location and era. Perhaps you have an emotional connection to a particular building. You have seen how easy it is to devise a plan and to assemble materials. In the upcoming videos, I'll show you how easy it is to build your own unique building. My next task is to cut 4 walls to size and to cut 27 windows and door openings in those 4 walls. This will not be a quick task, so part 2 of this video series is still a few weeks away. In the meantime, I have included links to all the products mentioned in this video in the comments below. As always, I would love to hear your comments and questions. If you want to see more videos of this type, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.